there's a nigun I just was reminded of this week. I don't think anyone knows it, so listen once or twice. Everyone's actually in the room. Okay, sing it. I'll tell you afterwards. Okay, huh? You're so petrified. Everyone's so petrified that they're going to sing it wrong. I sang this nigun once in my life. Just flow it. That someone reminded me. I'll tell you a quick story. The best of the best, Moshe, who I've been talking about all week. The best of the best. Moshe Pesach ben Avigdor ben Yamin, Olav Shalom, Zichrono Livrocha, who died this week, was like, I could start talking about him till Hanukkah. One of the closest people in my life, ever. So someone sent me a radio show that he did, and I'll send it to you if you want. He did a radio show about, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and he started talking about me on the radio show. And he started saying that when I was on that radio show a week before, and I ended the radio show with a nigun. And he loved the nigun so much, and he called me and he said to me, where did you find that Shlomo nigun? So I said, well, it is a Shlomo nigun. But I came down at the radio show, and I forgot about it. I forgot about it completely, this nigun. So on the radio show, he had the guy in the studio replay it from the week before. And someone sent it to me last night, and I was listening to this, so he gave me back one of my nigunim that I completely forgot. So again, from the beginning, okay? Bam, bam. thank today's breakfast sponsor, Goel Jasper. Yeshar Koach, and Goel's going to share a few words with us.
Very quickly, because I know you're not here to listen to me. Some of you might remember that there was this evening with Moshe Feiglin like 3 months ago, and Dov did a siyum at that evening. The next morning I wrote, "Hi, you don't know me, but I was there last night and I found your siyum, especially your approach to your learning, inspired. Thank you for adding meaning to the evening, Goel Jasper." So of course he doesn't just say thanks. He does a Dov Cram thing, which I've learned is like, this is who he is. He sends me a 1 minute and 19-second video on his whole learning corner in his home. I do this and then I do this, and you just got to find the minutes. Anyway, so I'm happy to say that I've now gone through one Masechet of Gemara, thanks to Dov, and it's the first time I've learned Gemara in maybe 6-7 years. So like picking it up again, it's just been beautiful. And now I'm in my second Masechet, and that's just like a little vignette that illustrates what's so special about this Rav and this Kehillah. And so I just have boundless appreciation. In addition, I just finished finally, and whoever has not done this yet, I highly recommend it. I just finished finally all the shiurim of the Bnei Machshava Tova Chabura that are online. I recommend it highly. So it's a bit of a theme for that as well. So thank you for just being a great Kehillah.
Mazel tov.
Chayil. Amazing. And Dov Shekoyach. Hashem Shekoyach. Okay, Chaverim. Adar Aleph, sponsors of the month of Adar Aleph, Lori and Stephen Eagle, memory of Tzivia Bracha Bas Elia, anonymously in honor of the coming of the Mashiach. Unbelievable. Linda and Serge Merkin in honor of their son Yaakov Akiva completing Nachyomi, and for Shmira on their son Hillel Tzvi Yehuda currently in Aza. The week is sponsored by Joni and Moshe Pollack, Lilin Nishmas Bashela Bas Meir, and today is sponsored by Sarah Gold for the Refuah Shlema of Esther Dania Bat Sarah. If you could pass these around, please cover what we're going to be starting today. Do any of you have this sefer? Some of you may have it. It's a gorgeous sefer, and it's all Shabbos. Ma'amarim on Shabbos, on Zmiros of Shabbos, the parish of Rav Biderman. It's a small sefer. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and you could find this. If someone wants to place an order for everyone and figure it out, that'd be great. Just a lot on the plate. So I can't take care of it these days, but someone can get it together. That'd be amazing. We're gonna try it. We're gonna see where we are. This is a beautiful, beautiful mimer. We're gonna do one mimer today of Rav Biderman, a short one. And it continues us with the sweetness of appreciating this gift that we have called Shabbos. And as you see on the top of the page, it says Yismechul Malchus Chashomrei Shabbos. Just to remind you how this Chabura began. We were in Uman, one of the trips, and this older chassid came up to me while we were davening Mariv. I think you were right next to me, and he said to me, Who's happy in this world? Who's someone that's happy with Hashem's Malchus in the world? So I thought he was going to tell me some deep vort, some like crazy deep Torah and whatever. He said, Yismechul Malchuscha Shomrei Shabbos. אני רוצה שתתחיל לעשות שיעור על קדושת השבת אצלך בבית כנסת. I want you to start doing a shir on Shabbos in Yeshua. That's how it started. It's one yid telling you one note, just like we saw. One voice note can change a person's life if your heart's open. One word can do it all. So it should be a schus of that. It should give us the encouragement to, like, when we have something, chazak to say to someone, to not think too much and daven with it and say it in the right way, Bezrat Hashem, with sweetness, because you never ever know where it'll lead to. So this beautiful gift that we have called Shabbos, the way that Rav Biderman is going to bring it down. Now I know that Rav Biderman's ma'amar, they're floating around our Beis Medrash all the time. Sometimes because when the Hebrew seems to be easy, we don't have to. We feel like we don't have to activate our brains or our hearts too much because I know what he's saying. Sometimes you look over some simple things that may seem so simple. The Hebrew here is very easy, but on the level of avodat nefesh, it's the hardest thing in the world. On the level of intellect, of understanding what the text says, easy. It's fine. On the level of implementing that into your life, it's harder than finishing 30 Siyumei Shas, for real. So there's going to be the sweet flow, a sweet flow, Bezrat Hashem, this morning and with the Ma'amarim that we're going to be learning. I hope that we have the chance to travel amongst all the tzaddikim, all of them, and get a taste of how each of them appreciate this gift called Shabbos and internalize it into our lives. Matana tova yesh li bebeis genazai u'Shabbos shma. Malat matnas haShabbos. Everyone has? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ita b'Gemara, the Gemara in Shabbos says, Ladas ki ani Hashem mekadeschem. To know, Shabbos is all about to know that it's me Hashem that sanctifies you. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu leMoshe. You've all heard of this before. Matana tova yesh li bebeis genazai. I have this sweet gift, this really good gift in my treasure chest. V'Shabbos shma, and it's called Shabbos. V'ani mevakesh litna liYisrael, and I want to give it to Am Yisrael. Lech v'hodiem. Go and let them know about it. That's what he's telling Moshe Rabbeinu. Go and tell the Yidden I got something really special for them. What is chus to learn this on Zayin Adar? Aleph. You know, it's amazing. A year ago today, Rav Ginsburg was by us. Can you believe it? How much happened in it? It was a year ago. Zayin Adar. Crazy. Lech v'hodiem. So Basfarim HaKadoshim, Uva Levar. Ki yadua shedas more al chiburu dveikus. Whenever the word das is brought down, das doesn't just mean knowledge. Das means to know something intimately. Ve'adam, like it says, milashon ve'adam yada et Chava ishto. When the Torah tells us that Adam knew Chava intimately, it uses the word das. And essentially that's what each goal of something that we understand, it's not just to understand it, it's to have a da'as, it's to have a connection to it, to be intimate with what I know. That would be the most gewalt thing in the world. If all the Torah we absorbed, we were intimate with it. Zot omeret, that there's nothing that I learn that remains in the realm of knowledge. That's chokhmas hagoyim. But everything that I learn becomes something that ani yodea. Ani mamash yodea. Ani yodea. Das. V'hainu shakadosh Baruch Hu amar leMoshe, lech v'hodiem. The deepest. Now he says a gewalt thing. He says, when Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, lech v'hodiem, go and let them know about Shabbos, he wasn't telling them, go and tell them there's a thing called Shabbos. No. Lechna, u'sechaber osam b'kedushas haShabbos, ad sheyu dvukim ba. What was Hashem telling Moshe Rabbeinu? Like Rav Biderman is saying?
Go marry them with Shabbos.
What, go?
Go marry them with Shabbos.
Go marry them, meaning go there, give over Shabbos to them in such a way that they feel like they found all that they were ever looking for in this world. So that changes the pshat completely from the way we usually understand this. Oh, Matana, because all the Sfarim quote this Gemara. All the Sfarim quote it, meaning all the Sfarim say, Matana tova yesh li beis genazai u'Shabbos shma lech v'hodiem. They all say that, right? That Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, tell them I got something amazing for them, go and let them know about it. No. Rav Biderman is saying the mashu acher legam. Lech v'hodiem, go and let them know about it, leshon das. You know, you could have two people talk about Shabbos to you, and they both say the same exact words about what Shabbos is. The only thing is, one person is telling you on the level of maybe chokhmah, or bina even, but the other person is telling it to you on the level of das. And when he gives over Shabbos to you, that person that gives over Shabbos to you, he is giving over like on the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, lech v'hodiem, ve'adam yada es Chava ishto, ani yodea. Ani yodea. Mashu acher legamre. Something completely different. Ve'af, next paragraph, ki mi yifar godel pe'er hamalka. Who could glorify, who could give over the wondrous glory of the queen? How can we really know what this is about? Asher HaKadosh Baruch Hu bichvodu v'atzmo he'ida le'ashi matana tova. God himself says, I give edus. God is saying, this is a good gift. V'kayadua, shechashivus hamatana li'kare matana tova nimdedes lefi ashirus hanosna. Very deep. He says the extent of depth, the extent of a preciousness of a gift is measured by the wealth of the one that's giving it to you. Lefi ashirut hanotna. Im ken, kasher HaKadosh Baruch Hu, שהכל שלו מעיד ואומר שהשבת היא מתנה טובה, יש לנו להיות סמוכים ובטוחים ללא שום ספק שאכן טובה היא עד מאוד. I'll give you an example of this. You ever go to someone's house who's Baruch Hashem, he's gesund, okay? He's gesund. Meaning Hashem blessed him. Baruch Hashem. Alavai and all of us. Oh, Hashem yifanek otcha ad bli day. Baruch Hashem, right? Mamash ashir, okay? And this person's also holding in Masechta Mashka, meaning he's old. There he is, right? There he is. Amen to both sides. Right. Amen. And he's the one that says, listen, I got a good bottle. Let me bring out a good bottle. Okay, so then when that guy says, I'm going to bring out a good bottle, then you know, okay, now we're talking. Lahavdil elef alfei havdolos. Lahavdil elef alfei havdolos, right? Elef miloni havdolos. When you're sitting at the Ribbon Shleilam's table in this world, and he says, you know what, now I'm going to bring out the bottle. Hakol shelo, everything's for him. Can you imagine what that means? Shabbos, right? Ach mikol makom, so even though we have no concept of the real extent of the depth of this great gift, ach mikol makom shuma aleinu lisbonen lifi kotzer asagasenu be'erka shel matana tova. So we got to do the best we can based on our own limited grasp, our own limited perception of the world of Hashem. We got to do what we can to really have a concept of what's going on over here. Why? Kedei shelo nafsid chas v'sholom matnasa shel melech. So that we don't, God forbid, lose out on the gift of the king. Now, I want to say something over here. Some people can learn these words and say, therefore we have to make sure that everyone has to keep Shabbos. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about people that are already keeping Shabbos and to understand what in the world you're actually keeping. Now, the footnote on the bottom tells of a beautiful, quick story, I'll tell you in 10 seconds, of the Rebbe Rav Shmelke of Nikolsburg. The Rebbe Rav Shmelke, one time, there was an ani that came to his house, and the Rebbe Rav Shmelke gave him one of his wife's most dearest adornments, the one tachshit, some jewel, I don't know, piece of jewelry. And his wife came home, and she sees that piece of jewelry is missing, and she starts freaking out. There's a ganav in the house. And the Rebbe Shmelke says, no, there's no ganav in the house. There was an ani here, I gave it to him. She says, you gave that to him? That's the most precious one in this house. It's worth so much. So the Rebbe Shmelke goes and runs after this guy, and the guy sees that Rebbe Shmelke is running after him, the poor man, and he's thinking, oh my God, he's going to come and take it away from me, so he starts running away even faster, right? So the Rebbe Shmelke says, I need to talk to you. He's like, no, I didn't steal it, you gave it to me. And then he starts screaming to him, he's like, no, I know, I just want to make sure that when you sell it, this thing is worth a geval. Don't sell it for peanuts. Know what the value of what I gave you really is. Meanwhile, if this was a woman's share, right, they'd be like, that's the story? That's what the story is. What a horrible story is this, right? But he's basically just pointing out that the Rebbe Rav Shmelke ran after him to let him know, Lech v'hodiem. Lech v'hodiem. Go and let him know what the value is. Friends, let's be vulnerable for a second. If we had an inkling of the precious gift that we have right now, of what exists here right now, we'd cry for a month over the preciousness of it. We would. So on Shabbos we have to make an extra effort to understand the depth of Lech v'hodiem. And every Shabbos Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he says Lech v'hodiem. And that, what a great opportune time to tune in onto this Lech v'hodiem is? That Moshe Rabbeinu is coming and telling me the preciousness of this value, of this gift. Shabbos, for me, this has been the same thing for years. One of the highest moments of Shabbos for me is Shacharis, Shabbos morning. The words, for some reason, the tefillah, Yismach Moshe b'matnas chelko, ki eved neman karasalo. Every Shabbos, I get this tingle in my heart. Now, what is the matnas chelko? What does Moshe rejoice b'matnas chelko? What's Moshe Rabbeinu's chelik? Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that, while we were still avadim in Egypt, was the one that brought out Shabbos in the world by convincing Paro to give us one day off in order to make us better workhorses for the rest of the week, the Midrash tells us. So then we say every Shabbos morning, Yismach Moshe mematnas chelko, ki eved neman karasa lo, klil tiferes beroshem asatana. So every single Shabbos we have this concept of Moshe Rabbeinu coming and telling us, Yidlach, I want to give it over to you even deeper, what this gift really is. So the bottom over here, he says, V'lo niye bichlal ma she'amru, next page, Ezehu shotezeh hame'abed ma she'nosnim lo. Who's a fool? A fool is someone that loses something that he got. That's considered like a shlamazel. Someone that loses what they were given. So we all think that means someone that has an object and then he loses it. It's not that, Chavra. It's literally things that we think we understand the value of them because we subscribe to it, or we identify with it, or we've signed up for the program, or we gave in our membership, or whatever you want to call it, or we came to shul, or we turned on the Shabbos clock, or we set up the plata. That still doesn't necessarily mean that we have any idea of the value of the deeper meaning of this gift. Shabbos is something else. Those are just hachanas. All those things I said before just set up the stage in order to be in the presence and the awareness so that the flow of the gift can come and flow through us. That's all it is. I'm just going to explain to you how this sefer works. Once in a while we'll go down to the footnotes, but everyone knows, Rav Biderman, that sometimes you get drowned in the footnotes because sometimes they're so much higher than whatever is written on top. But trust me, when I prepare these, when we have to go down to a footnote, we'll go down to them, okay? So back on top. If you want to know what's really hidden in this treasure, pay close attention to the words that the first Ger Rebbe, Reb Yitzchak Meir of Gur, Reb Chidush Yarim says. Shediek midivrei Chazal, haomrim beveis genazai. Chazal said, this place where Hashem stores this gift is called Beis Genazai. Now, Geniza literally means mashu shu ganuz, concealed, like sealed off, separated, in a safe spot, right? It's kept in Beis Genazai. Now, what other concept do we know comes from that word Genazai? What concept? It's a Kabbalistic concept brought down all the time. Rashi brings it down also. Oragonas. What's oragonas?
Hidden light.
Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to a terminology that anyone in this room can feel like they're shayach to. Even though that's true. Future schar. I want to bring it down even more.
Nuclear power.
That you're still staying up there. Nuclear power. Come down here.
AI.
Maybe. It's up to us. Oraganus is living in a clear mode of clarity, She'Hashem echad u'shma echad, and tasting it in this world. The ein od milvado to the extreme. Living with complete clarity, she'ein od milvado.
What we're learning on Mondays and Wednesdays?
The Chaya?
Yeah, the left fifth.
Yechida.
Yechida, I'm sorry.
Yes. That's Oragonas, right? So Chidush Harim says, Klomar, she'efshar liskos lenos mina or hagonus b'yom HaShabbos. Usually, when do we refer to the time of year that we merit to taste from the Oragonas? Chanukah is usually we say that's the time. He says here, no, it's a diuk. Chazal Dafka used the word beveis genazai to teach us that this is actually approachable every single Shabbos. Sharei travayu mimokom echad kasi. That means that both of them, travayu mimokom echad, from the same place, kasi. They come from the same place. Shabbos and Oragonas. And I think that it's safe to say that the way that we've been learning with Rav Yaakov Meir Shechter this whole time was showing us that that's basically what's going on throughout every opportune time on Shabbos, is to taste the world of clarity, that of Ein Od Milvado. What a gift. And that's available every single Shabbos, regardless of what you did during the week. The extent of how much you tasted is dependent on the achana. That, yes. But, achana, the preparation, achana. However, the fact that it's there The Or, Agonus, and Shabbos is Kviya V'Kaima, which is a halachic concept that we will speak about another time. It's permanent, fixed, and set every Shabbos, regardless of whatever happened in your life.
Is it the
And now,
breakfast during Sylvester sheet?
קצת שונה. I don't want to go into that right now. Kosav b'Sefer HaChaim, now he quotes the brother of the Maharal. It's a beautiful Torah. Kosav b'Sefer HaChaim, La'agon Reb Chaim, Schus Yagen Aleinu, Achi Maharal mi Prague. The Maharal had a brother. His name was Reb Chaim. And he says like this, Ki hine b'nei dor hamidbar zachu li'izgalus elokus bar Sinai. כמו שאמרו חז"ל שפסח הקדוש ברוך הוא עליונים ותחתיהם בית מתן תורה. It says the generation that stood at Mount Sinai, they merited for this incredible godly revelation when they were there. God opened up the heavens above and the earth down here below while Matan Torah was taking place. V'ratzah kadosh baruch hu shegam bedoros habayim yizku li'izgalus doima. The Rebbeinu Shalom wanted this to always be available and accessible for all future generations. Ve'al ken nasan lemes haShabbos kodesh shehi me'ein izgalus zo. Shabbos Kodesh, the brother of the Maharal says, is an attempt to have a reenactment of Matan Torah. What part of Matan Torah? The Hizgalus, the revelation of Elokus. In other words, to bring it down to our language, that it's clear to me that Hashem exists and that He loves me and that Ein Od Milvado. Hashem wanted this to happen all the time. That Or Agonus that we're speaking about, the opportune time to actually say Ein Od Milvado and be one with it, comes every Shabbos. And he continues, V'simcha yesera shenofel aleinu bli miskaven, miad b'achnasas haShabbos v'leil shel Shabbos, kula or ve'oz v'chedom imkomenu. This thing happens whether... It's like a lot of things are dependent on how much you do and how much you don't do. This notion, that this awareness that comes down to the world, bli miskaven, without you even realizing it or trying, boom, boom. It happens whether you like it or not. Every time Shabbos comes in, and then this concept also parts from us every time Shabbos comes out. Bilti safek, says the brother of the Maharal. There's no safek. She'ein ze rak nitzotz ha'or ve'asimcha hamavik mimokom she'hanevua yotzes misham. You know what you feel when Shabbos comes in? Where are the origins of what you're feeling? Where is it coming from? The same place that prophecy comes from. That's what he's saying. Prophecy. The same shorish, the same warehouse where Nevuah came into the world, and we all know that a prophet had to be two things. One, with utmost clarity, bittul, and also besimcha, in order to have prophecy. Ein bas kol yotzes min hashamayim ela im ken adam shorei besimcha. Last by besimcha.
That's the reason Yaakov didn't have Nevuah until he found out that Yosef was alive again.
Yefeh meod. Good diuk. Nachon meod. It's also a proof that Avram Avinu was besimcha during the Akedah. Because if he wasn't besimcha, he would have never heard the bas kol that says, Al tishlach yadcha al anar. It's a Vorketar. So, he says there's no suffix. This is a spark coming from the same place that Nevuah comes from. Sha'af al pichen. And this is the consolation for us still living in a state of galut. Sha'af al pi she'en lanu lo navi velo chozeh. V'anachnu al adamat me'ah. That he was talking about where he was. I'm not sure if he was in Prague. I don't know where the brother was. Im kol zot lo azav mimeno chasdo v'amito v'ashpi aleinu or elokim midei Shabbos b'Shabboso. No, still, a Yiddish doesn't ever have the excuse to say, I have no shaykhs to that world of his galus elokus, like it was on Mount Sinai. Yiddish has no reshut to ever talk like that because it's not true. That every single Shabbos, that's literally what is in our hands. Ubifrat anachnu ayafei hagalut hamarazeh. Even us tired Yidden, tired from the bitter gullus. Still, Shabbos comes, and it's clear that without me tuning into Shabbos, there's no way Yidden would have made it in gullus. There's no way. And malasot. There's a lot to harp on this, but I think this speaks really for itself in terms of like the preciousness and the value of this matana tova. You know, I told you this story so many times, but I'm going to say it again because it's just jumping out of the letters here. I told you that for many Sundays in 1998, 99, our good friend David Sachs from Los Angeles, that many of you got to know and learn from, he hired myself and the Moshav boys, Moshav band Chevra, that had just moved to LA, to go out to Venice Beach on Sunday afternoons with guitars, a drum, and Yehuda played the shofar too. And we were singing Nigunim with a huge sign behind us that said 6 more days till Shabbos. Every single Sunday. And you have to understand what the scene is on a Sunday in Venice Beach, California. You've been there, Ben? You gotta. Tom, you ever see it? You probably lived it for a while. I'll just tell you what it is. You know how we say in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, V'yovim kol yitzur, ki ata yitzarta? Right? Kol yitzur. Mamish, kol yitzur. Kol yitzur, I'm telling you, kol yitzur means every type of human beings and things close to human beings. Okay? Pass by, and everyone's selling something. Everyone's promoting something. Everyone's converting everybody to something crazy. I remember getting into these crazy fights with the black Hebrews down there also. They would come down, these chevra are these meshuganas. You know, not the, let me medayek, be politically correct. Not Yidden that are black, chas v'shalom. The black Hebrews, it's a crazy militant, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
This chevra, huh?
The true Jews.
Right, the true Jew. They remember one time when they came by us and they started making fun of the Rebbe's name to us. It was like they know what buttons to press. Anyway, Kitza, like Menakem, he was saying. I remember till today. Every type of mamash, and you know what? Everyone was ki'ilu, like sababa, everything goes. A few Yiddiloch come with the sign that says 6 more days till Shabbos. It's pushing people's buttons. And then one time, some Yid, no, probably not a Yid, I don't think it was a Yid, he came up to me, and he said to me, you Jew, I'm leaving out the obvious, right? You Jews, you're up to it again. I'm like, what now? I said to him, what now? What now? What do you have to say now? He's like, you liars and thieves were promoting this gig last week and the week before, saying there's only 6 more days to it.
Going out of business.
You hear? You hear? Do you know how deep that was? I said to him, you were right. You were right. You're right. And if I really understood, and then I started telling him, I stopped myself and I realized the guy was, I think the needle was still in the arm, I'm like, but to me, I mamish saw Lianovi, because I was, every Shlomo story I ever heard was like showing up right there that it could be the biggest schlepper in the world is coming to show you what you have. He said to me, you're mamish right. So if I really understood the value of what the gig is, of what the event is, I'd be walking around the streets of the world singing 6 more days till Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 more days till Shabbos, 4 more days till Shabbos. So we have to, obviously it's impossible to live like this constantly. But the moments that we have, like on Friday mornings, these are not just so we have a good word to say at the table, it's to literally shake us up and get us ready for the Matana Tova. Because love is always there no matter what. That's the base genazai. Can't be touched. Now look how he says here, how he builds this up. This is the last thing here. Ubiyom HaShabbos, misoreres beyoser randaf gimel. Biyom HaShabbos misoreres beyoser avosa shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu levanav chavivav am krovo, v'umashre shchinoso aleihem beyoser bechol matzav shenemtzaim bo. Where were you holding Thursday night? Where were you holding Friday afternoon? Rav Biderman says, it doesn't matter. Meaning it matters of course it matters in the bigger picture of your own personal growth, but it doesn't matter when it comes to the things that are kviya v'kaima, that are untouched. Chvi shebir agon HaKodesh Rabbi Yonasan Eibshitz, Tzchus Yogan Aleinu, Ma she'amru b'Gemara. Now this is going to be a chiddush to many of us. B'shebesha'a shenichnesu oivim leheichal, ra'u es hakruvim meurim ze b'zeh. When the Yimach Shemamim came into the Heichal, in the Beis HaMikdash, everyone knows, what did they see? What did they see when the Kruvim, what did it look like?
Embracing.
They were embracing. Interesting. Hikshu HaRishonim. So the Rishonim, the Rimigash, the Ritva, Shar Achronim, a lot of other Achronim had a kashi on this. Because we know something. When were the Kruvim usually embracing? We have a Torah. Bizman she'osin ritzona shel makom. When we're good Yiddelach, we know that that's when the Kruvim were embracing. When we weren't, so shayach to this parsha, the Truma, because we get the whole, the whole description of it. So he says, Sherak b'sha'ita, the Gemara says in Baba Basra, Sherak b'sha'a she'osin Yisrael ritzona shel makom, azai pnei akruvim ish klapei achiv. Ach k'she'enam osin ritzona shel makom, pnei el habayis. So, im ken ketzad hayu akruvim me'urim zeh b'zeh b'sha'as ha'churban. Clearly, the Rebbeinu Shalom wasn't happy with us in the time of the Churban Beis HaMikdash. Clearly, we weren't doing osin ritzona shel makom. So how could you explain it? That's what they saw. Is that really what they saw? Did they make a mistake? Now, this is amazing. It's a good shaila, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of answers on this, but this one is something unbelievable. You got to go to the Yerushalmi for this. Shebebayis Rishon nifka achoma sa'ir betisha betamuz. And Bayis Rishon, when was the Shivasa betamuz of Bayis Rishon? Tet betamuz, right? Bechurban habayis haya. When was Well, here he says the Churban habayis haya be'echad be'av. He says here Churban habayis al pi the Yerushalmi was on the 1st of Av. Why? 21 days after Tet B'Tammuz. It was still a Bein HaMetzarim. It was still 3 weeks of that. It's just the dates were moved around from Tet B'Tammuz till Rosh Chodesh Av. You understand?
Start or the end of it.
Started earlier and ended earlier. Now look what he does here. Ukvar matzinu shetisha be'av be'ota shana haya be'echad be'shabbat. We had the calculation that year, when the Churban was on Rosh Chodesh Av, Tisha B'Av came out that year on Sunday. Okay? Which means, Nimtza, Shebe'echad Be'av, what day of the week was Rosh Chodesh Av? Chal Be'etzam Yom HaShabbos. So when they came inside, and they saw the Kruvim Me'urim Zebezeh, it's because it was Shabbos. It's Gewalt, no? ומשום כך היו הקרובים מאורים זה בזה.
Regardless of how we were, Shabbos.
חורבן הבייס. But it's Shabbos. כי בשבס קודש הקדוש ברוך הוא מראה חיבוסו לישראל אפילו כשאינם עושים רצונו של מקום. It's unbelievable. ובזה מבאר לשון המדרש, and now we understand the Zohar. This is an amazing thing. So I never understood this till right now. This is an amazing thing. מעולם לא זזה שכינה מישראל ואפילו בשבתות של חול. Very interesting statement of Chazal. Shechina never left Am Yisrael, even on what seems to be weekday Shabbos, Shabbatot shel Chol, right?
It's like halal. Is that what it means?
Well, it could mean a million things, but usually when we refer to Chol throughout Chazal, it has to do with the weekday. Always. So he says something so gewalt. Uchvar amdu mefarshim levar ma'u Shabbatot shel Chol. So that Chazal are also like, well, what does that statement mean? A weekday? A vachadik Shabbos? What does that mean? And now it's true, Rav Shlomo said. He said that every single day of the week is actually Chol HaMoed Shabbos. That's what he said. That's why he said Good Shabbos on Monday, on Wednesday, and Thursday. Upirshu be'ofanim rabim v'shonim, ach le'amor yesh lomar. שהכוונה היא לשבתות המתחוללות שנוהגים בין מנהג חול. Even if your Shabbos is literally just speaking about sports and 80s sitcoms and drinking and kiddush clubs, even if that's your whole Shabbos, אך מכל מקום לא זז השכינה מישראל, you may do your thing. Don't think that you could ever touch on that which is eternally, infinitely happening. You could have your thing. You could have your shtuyot, the same shtuyot. You could pound your edibles just to get by, and you could do whatever you think is. It doesn't touch. It doesn't touch that which can't be. Pashut me'od. And that proof that he brings from Yonasan Ebeshitz, that year, when they walked into the Heichal and they saw the Kruvim Me'urim Zebezeh, there's a lot of different taiches on it, the truth is. This one touched me deepest, proving that it was actually on Shabbos when that happened. even in Churban Abayis. That means that the value of this gift is always infinitely deeper than whatever you think it is. Infinitely deeper than whatever you think it is. Infinitely greater than what you think it is. And to be in awe of the fact that that thing that's infinitely greater and deeper than whatever I think it is, Hashem sends Moshe Rabbeinu every single Shabbos to come and tell me even deeper and sweeter, I'm pulling out the bottle. I'm pulling this out. This one I'm pulling out for you. For you. Lech vehodiem. So I think it's beautiful that we're starting to learn this, Dafka today, Zayin Adar, to enhance our acceptance, our, maybe this week we didn't sing 6 more days till Shabbos on Sunday. And maybe we didn't sing 5 more days on Monday, right? But today, for the rest of today, of Friday, the countdown is already 8 more hours till Shabbos, 7 more hours till Shabbos, right? 5 more hours till Shabbos. The countdown is closer, closer, closer. That I know that if I want, and if I do the proper hachana l'Shabbos, I could taste from the oragonas, which means I could restore my batteries properly in order to be able to function as a person in this meshugana olam hasheker. Olam hasheker, Baruch Hashem, the fact that it's an olam hasheker is getting clearer by the second, in order to be a yid that can really say those 3 words and be one with them, be intimate with the 3 words, that on Shabbos gives me the opportunity to say with mamash oneness and closeness, to be able to say Ein Od Milvado. And that's the greatest gift in the world, the Ribono Shel Olam has given us. That comes every Shabbos. Matana Tova, Yesh Bevis Ganaza, Shabbos Shema, and Moshe Rabbeinu, Yalla, another Shabbos, Lech Vehodiem, Das. Come and connect me to that. And Baruch Hashem, we have many opportunities throughout the week to prepare ourselves for this, but we have, Baruch Hashem, many opportunities. Our Chevra, our Kehila, our Shabbos here, it's Shabbos. It's Shabbos. And it's got to be even more Shabbos, with love, with simcha, so that there could be one place in the world that Yidlach walk into, and they say, I can't really tell you exactly what's going on, besides one thing. Alavai, it should be our schus, should work up to it, that alavai, every function, every level of whatever goes on here should be that a Yid can walk out and say, Ein Od Milvado. That's the greatest chai in the world. It's the greatest chai in the world. It should be our chelik as well. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Thank you.